Good evening, I'm the manager for DWPcorruption.co.uk, being the independent watchdog for the Department for Works and Pensions. This video tonight has been put out to you, the 3,000 people that view DWP Corruption, to help you enhance your lifestyle and gain control again of money situations. We at DWP Corruption have taken a huge interest in combating the corruption with the banks and money that is rightfully yours under the 1974 Consumer Credit Act. What we're about to do and reveal to you is information that could make you substantially better off on a monthly basis, that will help your income and the situation in hand with your debts. Whether you're aware of it or not, the 1974 Consumer Credit Act applies to bank loans, credit cards, finance companies, white goods being fridges, freezers, etc., and including cars, car loans. We have a customer that has saved over £35,000 and now through the courts is going back to get that money back that he has rightfully paid, but without the Consumer Credit Act agreement and a valid signature. Any act as such as the 1974 Credit Consumer Act that hasn't got a signature to it basically means that it cannot be lawfully claimed within the courts. So therefore any monies that have been paid are there to be collected back. Right, we're going to move on now, because this interesting video that we're doing tonight is about some of the responses that we've had at DWP Corruption about the 1974 Consumer Credit Act, and some of the replies from people such as Mint Credit Cards, which is RBS, Capital One, HSBC, and other people within the financial industry. And some of the excuses that we've had come back for reason of not supplying the signature on the 1974 Consumer Credit Act information has been absolutely mind-blowing. We've had people such as Capital One state that it's a default notice and a signature isn't required, which is utter bunkum. And I'm afraid this is just showing what lengths these people in the banking industry will go to make sure that you people do not get the truth and the facts about it. And what they tend to do is they try to point you into the direction of the Financial Ombudsman. Right, up on that, let's talk about the Financial Ombudsman and look at what the information you're given from the information that you're given is worth from this government body. In a nutshell, if you take a complaint to the government ombudsman or the financial ombudsman, it means one thing, and that is pure, total disaster. Because what happens is the ombudsman is part of an infiltration of common purpose bodies that make up our government. So therefore, the government ombudsman, the ombudsman himself, does not work on behalf of you, the public, and within your interest. He is there purely to corrupt the system. And that is why Capital One, RBS, HSBC, banks, they recommend that you take your case to the Ombudsman so that it can actually be colluded. And that boils down to the fact that the information that you're going to be given is going to represent nothing more than corruption and has no lawful stance whatsoever. The Ombudsman is there to save the country money, save the corrupt government money. That's right, the corrupt government. So that's Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, and the rest of the MPs and their expenses that which is still making us feel sick to some degree, as it appears that these people are still living, still working, and have not been put behind bars. So therefore, it proves that you cannot trust the Financial Ombudsman or the advice that's being given. The recommendation from the banking industry and the credit card companies to go to the Ombudsman is because it's already been signed, sealed and delivered with a load of crap that's been fed to you, the general public, to stop you getting your money back. So what we recommend at DWP Corruption is that you totally ignore that advice. Now, moving on, where the financial industry is concerned, as I've said, this information and information that we can provide from DWP Corruption will help people understand the workings of how you can rightfully get that money back without any consequences, as it's being done lawfully. And, you know, any agreement that hasn't got a signature on it cannot be executed. So therefore, you know, the threat of being taken to court, the threat of bailiffs, the threat of DCAs, which stands for debt collecting agencies, they can't do it. They're totally powerless, totally useless. And, you know, we at DWP Corruption have put names on our screen who've contacted us, and people that have contacted other people claiming that money back, and have rendered to be totally useless and unenforceable. And this is the case of probably 80% of the people that will endeavour to get their own money back. It's suggested that there's about 80-90% of these agreements that haven't got a signature on it, but other violations like the APR's missing, the signature of the bank or the person doing the agreement for the bank, I should say, and, you know, other issues that are about a proper agreement. And so therefore the message is no financial ombudsman, no ombudsman need get involved with this situation, as they're rendered powerless. You know, it is down to you, the general public, to be able to follow this transaction through. We at DWP Corruption will help you as much as we possibly can. We're willing to provide template letters totally free of charge that will help you put this together, as when you apply for this signature on the 1974 Credit Consumer Act, you have to give these companies 12 days plus 2 to provide that information. After 44 days, it is rendered unenforceable. No matter how many debt collection letters you have, no matter who gets involved, no matter what the ombudsman says, it's rendered useless, and that they can't touch you in a court of law. So what I'm going to do now is, I hope that I've put the point of view over in a way that you understand it. I don't mean to be patronising in saying that, as I do realise it can be a complicated issue, but it's down to you now, the general public, to take advantage of the help and the advice and the guidance that we're willing to give you at DWP Corruption, and we wish you sincerely the best of luck in doing this. And the way that we see it is, with the corruption that's in government at this moment in time, and the financial ombudsman and the ombudsman, if the corruption's good enough for the government, surely it's got to be good enough for you, the general public, to pull back what's rightfully yours in a manner that is lawful. All the best. My name's Martin. If I can help you, please send me an email. Get in touch.